Very good morning to all of you. Welcome to today's discussion. In the previous class, we have studied about the concept called method overloading and method overriding. So, overriding was the scenario in which the subclass method is going to hide the details of superclass method. That was method overriding. Whereas method overloading, two methods with the same name but with a different signature. So they are called as overloaded methods. They are called as overloaded methods. Now in this class we'll be discussing about abstract classes. That means why actually we use abstract classes. So abstract classes will come into existence in case of inheritance only. In case of inheritance. So assume we have a superclass. Assume we have a superclass which will be the subclass is going to inherit the properties from the superclass, right? Now the superclass will be having some of the methods. Say add is one method, and that will be derived, that will be inherited by the subclass also. Now usually what happens, the superclass will be having definition for the add. For example, this definition of the add, I'll write it here. Add is a definition which will take two integer parameters, int a and int b. Then simply what it is doing, trying to do here is it is simply returning a plus b. This is one definition. Return type obviously it will be of type integer. So this is what is definition of the add function. In usual scenario, what happens, the superclass will be having definitions for the methods. Definitions for the method. There will be some situations in which the superclass may not define the method completely. It will just tell the prototype of the add function, but it may not define the complete definition. In that case, that particular class is called as a abstract class. That particular class is called as a abstract class. That means what superclass will tell, superclass will tell that this is the add method, but its implementation details will not be provided by the superclass. Who will write the implementation? The subclass is going to write its own implementation. That means they have to write their own definition. The class whichever is going to inherit the add method, that has to define, or that has to write the definition for the add function. Such a class is called as a abstract class. So basically what actually is an abstract class. Abstract class tells that what we have to do, or it is going to just tell nature of the methods. It is just going to tell the nature of the methods. What is the nature of the method here is, nature of the method is add. It is going to perform some addition of two numbers, but how it is going to perform addition, that will be defined by the subclass. So what basically abstract class tells, what has to be done, only it is going to tell what has to be done, but who is that, how it will be done, that will be defined by the subclass. So abstract means which is not clear. It will tell only the prototype what has to be done, and that has to be implemented by the subclass. So this is subclass 1. Assume there is one more subclass which is going to inherit. So this is subclass 2. This is subclass 2. This is another class which is going to inherit the superclass. In this case also it has to provide its own definition for the add method. That is, whatever methods are there, abstract methods in the superclass, they all must be defined by the subclasses. They all must be defined by the subclasses. So assume this is the definition. Assume the subclass 1, this subclass 1 has used this definition. This subclass 1 has used this particular definition. This is the subclass 1 which has used this definition for the add. What is that? It's going to add these two numbers in this way, because superclass has not provided definition for the add function. The definition for the add function will be provided by the subclasses. So assume subclass 1 has provided this definition, and here we have one more subclass. So assume subclass 2 will define the add something like this, that is int add int a comma int b, then take a local variable called c, then c equal to a plus b, then return a plus simply return c, that is its own method. So it is basically left to the subclass how it wants to define the add method. So there is a method called add in the superclass, definition for which is not provided by the superclass, and hence this class is called as a abstract class. But once a subclass inherits such classes, it has to provide a definition of all the subclasses. Paper plastic karambol. Okay, when we have a method in the superclass whose definition is not there, then subclass is going to provide the definition for that. Assume this subclass is using this notation. This is one form of definition for the. It is left to the subclass in whatever way it wants. It can define the add function. Subclass 1 has provided this definition. Similarly, subclass 2 is providing its own definition. Both are going to perform addition only, but its own way of subclass 2. This is own way of subclass 1. This is one way of subclass 1. That is the same add. What has to be done? Addition has to be done. How it will be done? That is left to the subclass. And the class which is containing such abstract classes is called as abstract methods is called as abstract class. So this is what is the notion of the abstract class. What abstract class will do? We only define a general class of action, define a generalized form that will be shared by all the subclasses, leaving it to each subclass to fill in the details. That is, it is left to the subclasses to implement it. And such a class is called as an abstract class. Here, abstract class is going to tell only the nature of the method. As I said, only the nature of the methods will be indicated. What has to be done, but how that will be done, that will be decided by the subclasses. And such classes are preceded by the modifier called abstract modifier. They're called as abstract modifier. And if some class is inheriting the abstract class, then it must provide a definition for the abstract method. It must provide definition for the abstract method. Otherwise, it is not possible to inherit the abstract class. नहीं चबा बाबू. So I'll take one example program for demonstrating abstract demo. This will be clear. This will give us clarity about the abstract classes. Right. So here we have class A, and see here abstract classes are always preceded by the keyword called abstract. So class A we have. So here we have class A, which is having its own method. What is that? Call me is a method. Abstract call me is a method. So A has one class called call me. That is method present in the class. Then it has one more method, that is normal method. It is a abstract method and it is a normal method. I'll write it here for understanding purpose. It is abstract method and call me to is a normal method. Call me to is a normal method. Now class B is extending class A. Class B is extending class A. That means here an abstract class will be containing at least one abstract method. So call its definition is not provided. If you can see, the complete definition of call me is not provided in the superclass. What is class A? It is just telling that there is a method called call me, but how to define it, that is left to the subclass. This is the usual method what we use regularly. It is a sample. Uh, it is still concrete methods are allowed within the superclasses. Normal methods are also allowed in the superclass, but it is a abstract method. But call me is a abstract method. The meaning is its definition is not provided in the superclass. That is, definition of call me is not provided in the superclass. Not provided in the superclass. Definition of call me is not provided in the superclass. That means if definition is not there in the superclass, then whichever class is inheriting that superclass, class B is the subclass which is inheriting the superclass A. If there is some class which is inheriting the superclass, which is abstract class, then it must provide a definition for all the abstract methods. It should provide complete details of the, it should define its own way of the abstract method. For example, call me is an abstract method here. If you can see the definition of the class B is a subclass, and it here it has provided a complete definition, its own version of the call me. It is as it is inheriting, as class B is inheriting properties from class A, it will also inherit call me. But once it has inherited call me, it should provide definition for that. That is, definition of call me is provided. It is if that is inherited by the subclass, then it is mandatory for the subclass to provide a definition for all the abstract methods. So that is what is notion of the abstract classes. That means it will have at least one abstract method. That means it will just tell what it has to do. In place of call me, you can have something else, something like this, add method. It will just tell there is a method, but definition for that must be provided by the class which is going to inherit. That is how the abstract classes will work, and this is the usual flow how it works. That means we are creating an object of this subclass, then we are calling call me method as usual, call me method from the subclass, then call me to from the superclass. Because see here, call me is one method which the subclass is inheriting. Call me and call me to, both method it is going to inherit, and we are calling call me. Once you call me method, what happens, this statement will be printed, that is B's implementation of call me. Once you call me to, then what happens, this is a concrete method, the corresponding method will get displayed. So only thing what you have to understand about the abstract classes is, and a class is a abstract class if it is preceded by the abstract keyword, and at least there will be one method which is abstract. Abstract method means its definition will not be present in the superclass. Its definition must be provided by the subclass. That's it about the abstract classes. So these are useful wherein which in some situations you want to make general rules for all the objects or all the subclasses, and those general rules must be followed by all the subclasses. In such scenarios we use abstract classes. Abstract demo.java. Right. So B's implementation of call B, as I said, B's implementation of call me, and this is a concrete method. So this is how the abstract classes are useful. But we can use final with the inheritance. As we know, the final keyword is used to restrict. We can use it to restrict the inheritance. That means if you want to stop the inheritance, that means if you want to make sure that some class that should not be inherited by other classes, then we use final keyword. So final is used to prevent the overriding. We may want to prevent the overriding by using the final keyword. That means if there is some method which is preceded with the final keyword. So here, for example, in the class A, method is preceded by the keyword called final. Method is preceded by the keyword called final. That means within the superclass class A, within the superclass class A, this is method which is preceded by the keyword called final, which is preceded by the keyword called final. That means it should not be inherited. This is the final method. It should not be inherited. That means it is not allowed. It is not allowed to be overridden by the subclasses. That is, we can provide the, sorry, I was telling about this part B. That is, we can prevent the, I think I was explaining about this one, to prevent the inheritance. That we shall see it later. So in this case, what it is, to prevent the overriding, we can use final. So what is overriding? When methods in the superclass and subclass, they are having same name, then the method in the subclass is going to hide the details of the superclass. So if you want to avoid this scenario, then we can use final. So what it indicates here is method is final. That means subclass should not override that. You are clearly telling to the subclass that you should not override this. Or in other words, you should not use the same name for methods. You should not use same names for the method. This is the method which is only reserved for the superclass. For example, if you see here, class B is trying to extend class A. So whenever it is trying to extend class A, if it is trying to provide the definition for the method, we will get the error message. Why? Because we can't override that. That is, subclass is not allowed to override that method present in the superclass. Why? Because it has been declared as final by the superclass. That is not possible and it is illegal. And this is how we can override, or we can prevent overriding of methods. We can prevent overriding of methods. Now another usage of final keyword is to prevent the inheritance. Say in the inheritance hierarchy, you may want to stop the process of inheritance. You want that there is some class and that class should not be inherited by other classes. Then we just proceed that by using the final keyword. That means if it is final means no other subclass is allowed to inherit that class. That is final. Don't inherit any class is any other class is not allowed to inherit the properties from the class which is declared as final. That means we are stopping the inheritance. For example, class A is final here, and that class is preceded by the keyword called final. So class A is final. And here what we can see here is class B is extending properties from class A. Whenever you try to extend the properties from a class which is final, we will get error message. Why we get error message? We cannot subclass A. Why? Because class A is final. So what we are trying to do here is class A is superclass and there is class B which is trying to inherit. In usual case it is possible, but when you declare this class A as final, that means no other subclass is allowed to inherit that. That is what is usage of the final keyword. Two uses of the final keyword. One is to prevent overriding by the subclasses. Another one is to prevent the inheritance itself. That is what is usage. And there is one special class called object in Java. There is a special class called object in Java, and all the classes are subclasses of this object. Whatever classes we are defining, there is one super class called object. All are subclasses of the super class called object. That means object is a superclass for all other classes. Object is a superclass for all other classes. This is just a point to be known. That means if you take a reference variable of object which is superclass for all other classes, that means there is one superclass called object in Java, which is superclass for all, whatever hierarchy you use, whatever objects you create, they all are derived from the single superclass called object.